sees the memes of production, and the like and subscribe button. This is everything wrong with the DNC's attempt to market itself in new media. Look at this. I vote for Democrats. You see what I mean by the cancer thing, right? I'm just saying, you get me. Okay, this might be like racist or homophobic of me, maybe both, but I feel like this phenotype of individual is overrepresented in young people working for... I feel like if I walked around West Hollywood and I found a white 20-something Zionist homosexual who was very annoying to the waiters and waitresses who served him, that guy would have, like, that's the guy that I'm thinking of. That's the guy that, like, the DNC is paying $300,000 a year to do a shitty podcast. Do you understand what I'm talking? Like, there's a very specific kind of, like, safe progressive that we're willing to tap. I don't know. I'm very familiar with this kind of guy. I grew up right next to West Hollywood. He looks weirdly square. Well, he's cut, yeah. I mean, I don't know about down there, but I mean, like, body fat wise. Low-key looks like Vaush with no hair, lol. All right, monkey with a keyboard. That one's getting the monkey with a keyboard mute. You kidding me? I do appreciate the implication, however, that underneath the beard, I am 10% body fat. That is very kind of you. Why does the host look like one of the guys in the new Mad Max? Can somebody find me this podcast? What's it called? It is really funny that in an era where people demand authenticity more and more from their new media, the Democrats would go with the most, like, transparently inauthentic representation of their party possible. Sterile millennial background, no personality whatsoever, the only decor being the safest possible pro-Democrat. Like, Tucker Carlson's background doesn't look like this. No Republican's background looks like this. The Republicans' backgrounds, when they do their podcasts and shows, are usually like a cultivation of their specific interests and flavor and aesthetic, you know, like it's meant to be personalized to them because it speaks to that feeling of authenticity. Not this, though. I sent this to you. That's great. 933 views, streamed 1 day ago. What in the holy slop is this? Where's any mention of Mamdani? Mamdani is the future, brother. Yeah, sure.
That the Planned Parenthood organization cannot sue South Carolina over its decision to pull Medicaid funding because the group provides abortions.
This is why I've said, by the way, like, the Democrats are so vulnerable to getting their ass rocked by progressive upstarts within their party, because the Democrats are literally, like, not capable of doing media outreach. They have no idea how to do it. They're completely incompetent. They have no clue how to do it. It's really, 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 really funny.
Yesterday's Supreme Court decision has devastating repercussions for women's access to...
Okay, so mild criticism. Why are you doing that with your head? I feel I'm bullying a lobby right now because, like, this podcast has no views. Like, who is this person? No information on the person. No personability at all. DNC lab creature, yeah.
To reproductive care, while opening the door to attacks on healthcare covered under Medicaid. At the Supreme Court and in the halls of Congress, Medicaid is under attack, jeopardizing the healthcare of millions of Americans. And Donald Trump and Republicans couldn't care less. I'm Curtis Bradley Brown, your host for today.
Curtis Bradley Brown. This podcast is why the Kamala Harris presidential campaign is still in debt, by the way. This is how they spent $2 billion in 4 months. Okay. Found his Instagram. He's gay, not surprising, but that's the only thing I can find from the Instagram. Not really much in the way of political stuff here, right? Even though it's Curtis_DC. But on LinkedIn, I can't use LinkedIn because I don't have a LinkedIn. Why would I have a LinkedIn? I'm a YouTuber. In 2022, the hardest goodbye to the one and only Curtis Bradley Brown. One of my closest friends here in the MOV is moving on to Washington, D.C. for production work. Super proud of you, my guy. The MOV won't be the same without you, KBB. Catch him one last time. Okay. And Zach Miles is the morning producer on NBC 10 Boston. Okay, so he worked for local news, and he got tapped in by the National Democrats to go work in DC, and now they've put him here, presumably because they didn't know what else to do with him. Man, no hate to this guy, by the way. I genuinely don't know a thing about this guy, and he's definitely not writing his own scripts. But, like, man, why can't Democrats be normal? Like, genuine, why can't you just, like, find people with an authentic voice and some unique charisma and then give them a platform? Don't call it the Democrats. Do Republicans broadcast their propaganda from a YouTube channel called The Republicans? Why would you, like, why would they do that? Those people can't be easily controlled. I think it is a testament to how weak Democrats are that they are so terrified of autonomy from the people who are spreading their message. Republicans will work with anyone and everyone. Republicans jumped on top of Kanye when he was Hitler posting, okay? Like, they have no qualms. They will work with anyone. It's all messy. There's constant drama, but they'll do it. They'll fight and they'll scrap for every bit of legitimacy. The Democrats will not work with you unless you are the most safe, sanitized. You have to be like a Harry Sisson. Is that who I'm thinking of? You have to be like that kind of guy. You have to crush mad is what I'm saying, because that's apparently what Sisson's doing. I heard people got mad at him for that. Like, this is how you have to post. America failed women tonight. Trump's second term. This crap. Trump just attacked CNN journalist Abby Phillip, calling her third rate. Oh yeah. President Biden just visited the Minnesota Capitol to pay his respects to Melissa and Mark Hortman. If anyone knows about loss, it's Biden. What an amazing gesture from an amazing man. Just totally, like, unhinged, unrelatable. Like, it's like, it's designed to never win a single vote. It can only ever appeal to people who are already just completely brainwashed Democrat voters, like no independent thinking, you know? Oh, then retweeting the Joe Biden one. Gavin Newsom, wear the shirt, you need psychiatric help. Unsurprisingly, no mention of Mamdani from Harry Sisson, because he's like a paid stooge of the Democratic Party. Or is there? No, I don't think there is. Okay, he's calling people racist for saying that New York City has... Oh, wait, maybe I'm wrong. It's clear the Democrats are done with boring establishment candidates. The traditional way of campaigning in Democratic primaries is a relic of the past. Candidates who recognize that and adapt will win. Okay. I acknowledge fault. Very minimal, in my opinion, especially because he didn't actually say Zohran Mamdani. But, you know, less than the night, please, Democrats embrace social media and new media. It clearly works. Yeah, but Harry, you're the opposite of what won Mamdani the victory. Like, you are the sterile corporate machine Democrat sanitized for public consumption, you know, style that he avoided. Sorry, I guess this is just like a broader inquiry into Democrat safe media. You know what I mean? I looked at that Curtis guy from the podcast. He's the director of all the DNC's multimedia strategies. What? This guy has a management role? There's no way. What's his name again? Mamdani. Curtis Bradley Brown. Do you have any it's easy to Google people with prominent middle name. Do you have what source do you have that this guy runs the Democrat social media? LinkedIn? I can't look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn, apparently. Okay, so it says it there. Okay.
Day, Friday, June 27th, and this is the Daily Blueprint. Yesterday, we went over how Democrats are fighting back against the ugliest parts of Trump's big, beautiful reconciliation bill. And if you need a refresher, reconciliation is a specific legislative tool that focuses on the budget. Most importantly, reconciliation bills only need 50 votes in the Senate to pass instead of the usual 60, making it a sneaky way for Trump and MAGA Republicans to push through their dangerous agenda. The Senate's on track to...
You think reconciliation bills are like a sneaky tactic? It's the only way anything gets through Congress. Do you think they could have cleaned the audio up for the S noises a little bit?
Begin voting on the legislation this weekend, with House passage potentially as early as next week. Democrats are fighting to stop Trump's big, ugly bill. With Democrats leading the charge, the Senate parliamentarian...
He does look like Lars from Steven Universe. That is true.
The bill or not, struck down a number of Republicans' attacks on Medicaid, including a backdoor plan they had for an abortion ban. So this is huge. It could save millions of Americans from losing access to health care. Here's the top Democrat.
I feel like, just as a matter of principle, if you are trying to expand the Democratic influence through new media, praising a Chuck Schumer through a Chuck Schumer tweet is like, and putting it on screen, no less, is like just a non-starter. You know, why is this so fast-paced? Because there is no personality. It's a script that was written to deliver specific information that was given down from on high to this guy, and there is no room for natural delivery because it's all deeply, deeply unnatural.
To healthcare. Here's the top Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee, Ron Wyden, explaining what some of this means.
Overnight, my staff on the Finance Committee got several of the horrible provisions
That's great. This is also very charismatic. Thank you.
removed from the bill. The first is a special Medicaid tax. Stripping it keeps the Republicans from cutting billions in Medicaid.
Okay, you screenshotted the LinkedIn. Thank you. Curtis Bradley Brown is a strategic leader and hands-on manager with production experience spanning entertainment, news, and politics. He began his career as a one-man band reporter at the NBC affiliate in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and has gone on to produce television at the network level. But I thought the guy who said goodbye to him worked in Boston. Maybe he moved after saying goodbye. After running the multimedia studio at Biden-Harris and Harris-Walls HQ in 2024, oh my God. He now serves as studio director for the DNC. Oh my God. He oversees all production activities within the DNC's in-house multimedia studios, used daily by members of Congress as well as party leadership, surrogates, and spokespeople. Oh, only, dude, listen, if you ever get a job within the National Democrats, you are set for life. It does not matter how badly you f up. You are set for life. Now we can hate this guy. Now that we know he's not an intern, and he's not only is he powerful, he's actually responsible for Trump winning. In all likelihood, he regularly advises the War Room team, made up of the communications, research, and mobilization departments, as well as external partners through every phase of the content creation process, and was instrumental in launching the Daily Blueprint, the Democrats' Daily... Oh my God! He's the one who pitched the Daily Blueprint that went on for like 2 weeks. The Democrats' Daily Morning Update. Well-versed in politics, production, and working with principals, Curtis translates high-level strategy into actionable production plans, leads teams with creative and technical expertise. Leads teams with productive technical expertise. Get it? Because it's like the audio hasn't been properly... You get it. Draws on his years of onstage and on-camera experience to ensure that principals from elected officials to celebrity circuits are fully prepared to feel confident before stepping in front of a camera. Background in theater, Broadway productions. He and his husband live in the Logan Circle neighborhood of Washington, D.C. That's great. Good for them. Can you stop, like, giving our country to Republicans, please? Can you, like, be slightly more competent at your job? Why is it that the groypers running the Twitter accounts of the average Republican staffer, or sorry, the average Republican congressman, why are they so much better at messaging than you? Like, this is your job. Here's what we need to do, guys, okay? We need to institute a new rule. If you have ever seen Hamilton, you can't work in media for the DNC. I feel like that would actually, in one fell swoop, get rid of every problem element. I'm not even saying Hamilton's bad. I'm just saying, like, that would do it, you know?
And to no one's surprise, Republicans are sore losers. They're pissed off. They won't stop fighting over provisions they want stuffed into the bill. And they're even calling on the Senate parliamentarian to be fired.
What I'm about to say, I do not say lightly. I don't like having to say it, but it needs.
Well, that's interesting. So take a look. So really quickly, let's do a bit of contrast, like media analysis stuff, okay? I want you to tell me what you feel the difference is between this and the previous little video cut-in we got from a member of Congress.
To be said. The Senate parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, needs to be fired. She needs to be fired by our Senate Majority Leader, Senator Thune.
The Senate
So Crenshaw looks annoyed. He's holding the camera himself, or at least he appears to be. His emotions seem authentic. I doubt they are, but they seem authentic. He's looking down into the camera. It looks intimate. It looks personal. And he does have an eye patch. Let's go back a little bit.
Removed from the bill. The first is a special Medicaid tax. Stripping it keeps the Republicans from cutting billions in Medicaid.
You understand? This looks stilted, inauthentic. It looks like a script is being read from. It doesn't seem like an expression of any actual, like, authentic emotion. He's holding a little microphone. He's just awkwardly standing. It's obviously not him filming himself, so it looks staged. How are they this bad at their jobs? That's what I want to know, because this is the thing that makes me, like, kind of conspiratorial, okay? You have to be bad at your job to do this. Like, if you are running media for the Democrats and you are so bad at coordinating and messaging that you in your own video are juxtaposing this effective bit of messaging with the previous ineffective bit of messaging, and you're repping the ineffective one, like, what are you doing? Because it's just a job to them? It's criminal incompetence.
Needs to be fired by our
I agree. Curtis, whatever the f needs to be fired.
Senate Majority Leader, Senator Thune.
The Senate parliamentarian's just doing her job. It's a nonpartisan position, and Republicans want her fired just because she didn't do what they wanted her to do. But Democrats aren't falling for these.
Oh, man. Imagine that, dude. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a person being frustrated that a weird, boring, uninteresting, banal bureaucratic process is getting in the way of you doing something you want to do? Look at the audacity of Crenshaw, man. Oh, dude, she's just doing your job. Like, do these people talk to ordinary people? You need to move out of DC, okay? You need to go live in New York or something and commute to DC whenever you're, I don't know, you work 2 days a week probably. You need to like interact with regular people for a bit because the Democrats are so inhuman, man. They're so inhuman. They're such aliens. They're such lizard people. The Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a human. I mean, she looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan, but like she's a fiery retard. She's not inauthentic, you know? DC is fine. I love DC. It's just who he hangs with. Yeah, but he needs to be away from the problem elements, okay? The Dems seemingly have no idea how culture emerges despite having the two most important cultural powerhouses in the country on their side, gay people and black people. It's bizarre. Like, that sounds like a shitpost, but it's not. It is genuinely insane. How the do you come across this stilted when 98% of black women vote for you? Like, like, black women are literally the cauldron from which, like, all modern language is brewed, and you're like, how are you not effortlessly styling on your opposition every time? It's insane.
Political games. Here's Congressman Robert Garcia talking about what's at stake.
I think the Senate's finding out what we in the House, the Democrats already know. This is a horrific bill, much of it unconstitutional. A lot of it will not pass through the parliamentarian. And the Senate now is struggling with this idea that what this actual bill is trying to do is to rip away health care for 16 million Americans. It's trying to take away food assistance for low-income families across the country. And the parliamentarian is right to strip out these provisions. And we're going to see what the Senate's going to try to do. But at the end of the day, every American should know that this bill is all about taking away health care and then giving away a huge wealth transfer to the richest people in this country.
And while Republicans continue to push Trump's attacks on Medicaid through Congress, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed what Americans have known all along. Donald Trump couldn't care less about if you have health care or not. Let's take a listen.
If the final bill that the president's been talking about comes to him and it has Medicaid cuts in it, will he sign it, or would he rather just Congress do away with those cuts?
I think our friends in both the Senate and the House know exactly where the president stands on Medicaid. He wants to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and they are working to do that in the Senate right now.
See,
That's such a weak clip to use to support this argument. It's not horrible content, but it's not good either. No, it's actually horrible. It's actually maybe the worst content there is. I would actually put this worse than like the Tucker Carlson show. It fails on every level. So informationally, this provides almost nothing. This podcast will never, ever, ever criticize the Democrats in any way, shape, or form. It'll actually glaze them for everything they do, no matter how ineffectual or embarrassing. So, like, informationally, you might as well be watching Fox News. Genuinely, there's no difference. You're getting no information here. Like, the Democrats, if this podcast was around for, I don't know, 2028, okay, and President Newsom institutes the we're putting all homeless people in gas chambers bill, okay, this podcast would praise it. There's no actual ideological grounding here. It's just partisanship. So, Fox News. But it's less entertaining than Fox News. It's also much worse produced than Fox News, like by a huge degree. It's monstrous. I mean, I don't think it's an overstatement to say this is why we lost the election, right? Like, I think that, and I by the way, I don't think that's like a fringe lefty opinion. I think if you showed the average Democrat voter this, they would go, what the f is this? And I think if you showed the average Republican voter this, they would go, yeah, that's why I voted for Trump. Like, this weird, inhuman, stilted, fake, rehearsed, like totally disconnected, not even trying to pretend to be a person. Yeah, that's why I voted for Trump.
Couldn't even say whether or not Trump would veto Medicaid cuts. Despite the facts we know, Trump is lying through his teeth about his plans to gut Medicaid.
And we're going to also cut costs. We're cutting 1.6
for multiple hours. Exploded. A brave whistleblower just estimated that Trump's changes and Elon Musk's cuts have doubled.
Sums up the current chaos best.
When Elon Musk and Donald Trump come in.
Jesus Christ. Look at this.
Senator Elizabeth Warren sums up the current chaos best.
When Elon Musk and Donald Trump come in with a chainsaw and they're firing people and creating chaos, two things.
Dead air in the room. You hear white noise in the background. You can't hear her voice properly. She doesn't seem to be mic'd, I guess. Sitting in a bedroom. It's not like filmed personally. What's the point of a podcast format if every time you're going to have a cutaway to a politician, they're clearly getting like the sit down where they read a script? What's the point of that? Like, the whole point of a podcast format for an institution like the DNC is that it has this like sense of authenticity. Why would you cut that with this? It makes no sense.
The number of mistakes goes up and the people there to help you get them fixed goes down. And her
audio also has these weird like these cutting S's. Do they just not know how to mix the audio properly?
Bad for everyone who counts on Social Security.
See, here's the bottom line. The Trump administration is severely disrupting the Social Security Administration, putting benefits for 73 million working families at risk while giving tax handouts to the ultra wealthy.
Can this even be called a podcast? Not really, no. And trust me, people like this would never ever allow for an unscripted interview, because that could go badly. They wouldn't want that. They would never ever ever allow that. There are two fundamental issues, okay? For one, if you are a young Republican staffer, you're jumping on board to be evil. You're jumping on board because you're a Nazi or because you hate blacks or Muslims or Jews or whatever. You're jumping on board because you love evil. And because you love evil, you have a pretty like wide range of tolerance and permission. You have a wide range of what you'll allow, okay? You're okay with people's Medicaid getting taken away because, you know, black people's Medicaid is also getting taken away. You're okay with, you know, women dying of miscarriages in states that have banned abortion because you're fine with women dying. You don't have a problem. So as a consequence of their sort of moral ambivalence, you don't have to worry about controlling their behavior too much. Just tell them, rep us, make us look good, you're fine. That's why the White House Twitter account looks like that, you know? But with the Democrats, you have to run this like weird, there's this like really weird inconsistency. How do you get young people who are excited about the Democrats, hard enough as it is, okay? And they need to be progressive, but not too progressive, okay? Like, they need to be in favor of gay marriage, but we can't mention trans people anymore because that was a no-go for Kamala and Biden. And you can't be like queer. You can't be weird about it, okay? For two, you can be non-white. You're allowed to be non-white, but only if you're white or black. You can't be Asian or Hispanic because Democrats only think white and black people exist, as evidenced by their marketing appeals to, you know, during the president's, by the presidential race. And also, like, you have to be at least nominally economically progressive, but you have to be okay with the of Palestinians. Like, you have to look in the eyes of Chuck Schumer, a guy who would personally butcher an infinite number of Arabs if he could, and you have to be fine. You have to be totally fine with him, but then you have to go out and argue for things like justice and equality. You can't really find people who are like this. It's not real. You can't find people that are like this. They don't really exist. There are lots and lots of evil 21-year-old tech-savvy Nazis who will join up to the GOP. There are not a lot of the people that I just described to the Democrats. That demographic doesn't exist. There are a lot of zombie libs, not the right kind, and there aren't as many as there used to be. Also, you can't have a zombie lib because you have to be politically conscious enough to do actual messaging. You're not just a consumer of Democrat media at that point. You're a producer. So you have to be, you can't just not think about Israel. You have to get an order like, yeah, you're not allowed to criticize Israel, and go, yes, sir, okay, sir, no, I won't, sir. You have to be ostensibly in favor of things like economic justice and like young people mobilizing for a better future. But then when the orders come down, you may not talk about Mamdani. You have to go, yes, sir, okay, sir, no, I won't, sir. Like, again, these people don't exist. So don't these people believe in nothing? Well, the Republicans also believe in nothing. They're just better at marketing it. Nothing on Mamdani? Yeah, what a surprise. Let's take a look at the other one. Hold on. This is the other host, I guess, of the Democrats podcast.
NATO chief, who is your friend. He called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children.
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
While we leave Trump to focus on his daddy issues, we're here to tell you everything that you should be talking about today.
Fuck, that says it all right there, huh? Here's a clip of Trump being genuinely funny. Okay, now that we're done with that, here's all the talking points that you should have from the Democrats today. Wow, that's incredible. I genuinely, I couldn't. I appreciate the off-ramp just like that. Yeah, that was shockingly transparent. Okay, yeah, I don't really have anything more to say than that, to be honest with you. They need to hire Mamdani's media guy. What, so they can have a falling out over Israel or something? No, that. The Democrats, the Democratic establishment at the national level, they are evil and inhuman in a way that I don't think the Republicans match. I think that there's like an extra moral sacrifice you have to make because the Republicans are evil and they know it and they act like it. So for the Democrats to be evil, but then like deliberately incompetent and like they claim to want good things, but they aren't willing to do what would be necessary to support those good things. There's like a level of added inauthenticity. I never feel like I'm being lied to as much as when I look at Chuck Schumer. You all agree with that? Is there a single Republican politician you can think of that when they talk, you feel the same level of like greasy, disgusting, deliberate, unconvincing, contemptuous dishonesty as somebody like Chuck Schumer? Because I can't. I can't. I don't know Mike Johnson. I'll argue with you on this. Absolutely not. Mike Johnson is literally laughing when he talks to the press. Like when he does something evil and dishonest, he's like giggling at how fun it is to get to lie to the press with no consequences. Trump doesn't lie. Trump only tells the truth. Stephen Miller? I feel like no. Stephen Miller is pretty authentic about being evil. You guys are just listing evil people. Like you're not understanding the point here, okay? You need to watch more Chuck Schumer. You need to get more Schumer pilled. You're just listing people who are evil, okay? If you want the bio on that blonde lady from that episode, she's just as much of a failure as the guy. Me, man. Hannah Moldovan is a Democratic Party staffer and liberal activist, senior communications advisor to the Congressional Integrity Project, which targets Republican Party members of Congress, their associates, and their family members to expose allegedly compromising information about them. Six committee. I don't know. This seems like a weird cut together. I'd be more interested in seeing your LinkedIn. Why are we excluding evil people from this competition? We're not. The question was, does anyone give you that feeling of greasy, insincere, deliberate inauthenticity the same way that Schumer does? Not who's the most evil. If it was who's the most evil, it would probably be Miller. You have to listen. You have to listen before you type. It's not the competition. What has Schumer done to earn your ire? I'm actually just going to ban you for that. What? Go catch up on 5 years of streams. Wait, come on. Is that meant to be bait? That's just an exhausting message to, you can't. What has Andrew Tate said that's so sexist? What the fuck? I'm not gonna sit here all day. I started early so I could go to Pride later, okay? I'm not giving you an incomplete answer. I'm giving you no answer. All right, what are these clips? Show me the clips. To be fair, there are new people in your streams now, actual libs that don't know why. Yeah, maybe. Hold on. I'll check the logs. Well, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to take a look. Do you ever get tired of being wrong? Weren't you pitching World War there not 2 minutes ago? Lol W, you got it all wrong. When you lose a war, peace is forced upon you. You think the Iranian regime will survive this? The Ayatollah wants it to stop and survive. Why not just say we don't know the level of damage, Vaush? Did you not call it all war? Lol W. Lay off the Dems, they are just old. What has Schumer done that is even remotely comparable? Lay off Pelosi and Kamala, they are political gods. I don't think this person is being very sincere.
However, I think it's extremely important that we get a hard focus on solving our problems, and that's what people really want. And you know, that guy that won the Democrat, I guess that was the Democrat primary in the mayor's race.
Yeah.
I've watched quite a few of his videos, and he did something pretty unique and very smart, even though I don't agree with anything he says. He really ran a campaign where he talked directly to the people. He was focused on their issues, focused on their problems, and talked.
Is Marjorie Taylor Greene making sense? I'm going to throttle you. You can't keep doing this every time the red tints red brown. You can't keep doing this, okay? We literally just did the Tucker Carlson episode. You can't keep doing this to me, okay?
Talking to the people about his solutions, even though his solutions are
Rhetorical question. I hate rhetorical questions.
insane, and they're socialists, probably communists. But he was talking directly to the people.